Welcome to the show. Today we're going to go learn about DA pamphlet 75030 by the United States Army, better known as Operation and Preventative Maintenance of the M16 rifle. It's getting pretty hot. Quite a storm outside, so let's go do more indoor stuff. So, we're going to go step by step on how to field strip this rifle, and I shot it a lot for a competition. Pretty neat rifle still, and I'm surprised how well it could hold up for how dated it is. So, we got ourselves a rifle out here, and why does this exist and why is it in a comic book form? Well, let's go dig into it. But first, I need to go clean my rifle. And we'll go use this guide to go and help me out. And I'll go guide it step by step. And on page 1, we got a field stripping guide. Very handy. Let's go by step by step. According to this comic book, field stripping steps are as follows. Remove magazine. Open bolt. Check chamber for ammo. Press takedown pin to the right with a cartridge or finger. Pull back on charging handle and bolt carrier assembly. Take out the bolt and carrier assembly. Remove the charging handle. Push out the firing pin retaining pin. Push bolt in lock position. Heed this. Never open or close the split end of the retaining pin. Remove the firing pin. Take out the bolt, cam pin, and give it a quarter or 90-degree turn. Pull the bolt out of the carrier assembly. Use the firing pin to push out the extractor pin. Remove extractor and spring assembly for cleaning only. Remember not to lose, damage, or separate them. Remove the sling. Take handguards off by first pulling down the slip ring. Use the firing pin to release the receiver pivot pin. Separate the upper and lower receivers. Push the buffer assembly in about a quarter inch. Press it on the buffer retainer, then release the guide. Take out the buffer assembly and spring. One of the pages illustrates on how to use solvent and to clean up the lower trigger group while inside the lower receiver, and then put lubrication in all the internal trigger parts. Within this comic book, there are other ways and methods to go and clean the M16 rifle, such as using the chamber brush to go and clean the star chamber of the barrel extension, various ways to clean the bolt face and bolt carrier assembly, as well as how to inspect parts and lubricate parts. Also proper instructions on how to clean from the chamber all the way to the suppressor. Over in this diagram, it shows how to properly lube the M16 rifle using LSA, or lubricant, such as how to lube generously or to lube lightly. Reassembly steps are as follows. Insert the spring and buffer assembly. Join the upper and lower receivers. Engage the receiver pivot pin. Install by first putting handguards in place, then push up on the slip ring. Install the sling. If you goofed and separate the spring from the extractor, insert the large end of the spring in the extractor and seat it. Insert the extractor pin. When you install the bolt, make sure you stagger the ring gaps to prevent gas leakage. After you install the cam pin, give it a quarter or 90-degree turn. Install the firing pin by dropping it in the hole. Insert the firing pin retaining pin. Like so, put the firing pin forward. The retaining pin goes back into the large shoulder of the firing pin. Install the retaining pin as you install it. Hook the charging handle in, then shove it in. So with the rifle cleaned up, let's go to talk about why the United States government is making comics for the military. So, around the time the M16 was being put into service, some teething issues were present, as it was not a mature design. DA Pamphlet 75030, the M16A1 Operation and Preventative Maintenance Guide, was produced to address several issues while maintaining the M16, especially with the M16 being a radical and immature design with aluminum receivers, synthetic furniture, and a .22 caliber bore. A large step and deviation from the previous M14 rifle and the M1 Grand rifle that preceded it. This would necessitate new cleaning kits and cleaning manuals to be issued in mass. Parts need for their own inventory and stock number, which uses FSNs, or federal stock numbers, which are superseded by NSNs, or national stock numbers today. So any soldier can approach a supply sergeant and ask exactly what he needs, what it looks like, and how to use it. The comic also features guides on how to address stoppages and jams, as well as how to safely cross water with the M16, armor level maintenance, as well as unique parts to the carbine variants of the M16, such as the XM177. This comic has plenty of great information, and it's genius. It's formatted in a way that a conscript could easily understand it, and how to properly do an action within the comic book with illustrations by the famous Will Eisner. It's certainly more entertaining and more incentive to read than these boring field manuals. Now, comics and cartoons weren't a new thing to the United States military. During World War II, for example, animation studios such as Disney and Warner Brothers were contracted to create cartoons to be issued for the troops and provide information or propaganda, such as how to raise morale, how to provide proper hygiene, how to eat properly, or how to depict the Japanese or Germans in a very negative manner. One cartoon released by Warner Brothers, for example, Private SNAFU, is an example. Also during World War II, you have comics such as Joe Palooka, where on this cover, he's punching a Nazi submarine crew. You also have comics produced by Quality Comics, DC Comics, as well as Marvel. Yet these comics don't have much information inside, such as equipment maintenance or military tasks. This is where PS Magazine comes in, coming out of Redstone, Alabama, produced in-house by the U.S. Army, with its first issue during the Korean War, released in June 1951, featuring illustrations also by Will Eisner. These contents would be on maintenance instruction updates, illustrations how to perform maintenance on various equipment, such as tanks, helicopters, small arms, tents, and others, including other topics such as laundry care, as well as mental health. These comics were made until the 2010s, and I wish they're still made today. PS Magazine features a cast of characters, and the main character is Master Sergeant Half-Mast, who is also featured in DA Pamphlet 75030. The main message of these comics are consistent. Preventative maintenance on equipment will ensure mission success. The way these stories are told can be done in various different ways in PS Magazine, featuring parodies on various movies, TV shows such as Lord of the Rings, Miami Vice, The Wild West, among others. While information at the time with DA Pamphlet 75030 is great, there are many bits of information inside today that are a bit dated. For example, modern firearms lubricants, for example, provide a greater operational range and perform much better than LSA. Other information in the disassembly process, for example, is not advised today, such as using a firing pin as a punch, which can blunt and break the firing pin. It is advised to use other tools, such as a firing pin retaining pin, or an ordinary pen to go and disassemble the rifle. One thing that would be helpful in DA Pamphlet 75030 is how to remove the handguards on this rifle. It's a big headache, especially with a small slip ring. Yet there isn't really any tips or information on how to take it apart. Also, specific to the M16A1, the newer buttstocks that has this trap door, there isn't really a good way to clean out the drain hole using DA Pamphlet 75030. In conclusion, DA Pamphlet 75030 is a great collection piece, and it provides great information, especially for Vietnam-era reenactors, as well as general maintenance on the M16 rifle. While you can find electronic copies on the internet easily, finding one of these physical comic books these days, a bit hard. Now, if you do enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and a like. Comment down below on what you think. It helps boost this video and support the algorithm in favor for this. Read the description for the sources, and go ahead and subscribe to find more videos just like this. If you like this video, remember, it's brought to you by Glow So Bright. Thanks for watching.
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.